Hi, welcome back. I'm a boy who knits. This is episode 3, I think. I finally finished the hats. So these were the Tychus beanies that I was talking about. So it's the first one that I finished, which was the child size, and then the me size, which is very large, but hopefully my friend Matt will have a similarly sized head to me, and this is the medium sized. So, yeah, mum, dad, and baby. I originally tried blocking these, wet blocking them, using a Shopple and it just collapses as soon as you try and wet block it, which I discovered as I was trying to do it. You can get it to pull back into shape by putting it through the dryer. It is a super wool, so it won't felt, it won't full in the dryer, but I did have to do that. I then discovered steam blocking on these. So my partner has a steam generator, so it's basically like a really expensive iron, except that the plate itself doesn't really get hot, it just pumps out a lot of steam. And I tried that on these and it's beautiful. It's done amazing things to the fabric. It has kept all of its, nice springiness, all that stuff. Hopefully they won't need reblocking after washing because they are, wearable pieces. So hopefully they will stay good even after they've been washed. But thankfully I figured out that with the super wool, you can just throw it in the dryer and it will work. So that was nice. So that's a finished project. I actually finished something on my works in progress, which was nice. So I went looking and I'm in the middle of marking season, and so I wanted to get something simple. And ages ago I started this, which is a very simple 2-2 rib scarf done in a Zambezi, which is predominantly acrylic, I believe. Yeah, 50% Tencel, 50% acrylic. I love my Tencel yarns. They work really well. I have some friends who are really highly allergic to natural yarns, and so stuff like this works really well for them. Unfortunately, I've got quite far through on this, and there's like random changes in gauge, and I don't know why. I did a slipped edge on it, and it's just like the scarf itself is really springy, but the edge is really not. There's random kind of ends just floating around. So I was trying to figure out whether to kind of finish it and have something or just frog it. And I showed it to my partner and said, what do you reckon? And he said, will you be happy if you finish it? And I figure I probably won't. So I think this is going to be the first victim of the frog side of my finish your frog thing. So, ready? Here we go. Woo! I will point out this does give me an opportunity to play with my new yarn winder, which I've discovered is actually really handy for frogging work because you can wind straight from the item, which is really nice. I have yet to find a really good way of getting these things started, but there we go. All right. Okay, so there's ball 1. Let's actually get rid of the scarf.
Right.
There we have it. Victim number 1 of Finish Your Frog. So, I need another project. luckily, I pulled out this. Now this is the exact opposite of what I was looking for. This is not a simple project. It's kind of my Moby Dick. So this is a piece of lace knitting. Now if you're looking for something easy to knit, lace knitting is kind of the opposite of where you should go. But that's the start of it. So it's the Snow Peacock shawl is the pattern. I'll put the pattern in the comments. The pattern is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's actually relatively straightforward to do as well. It's just kind of yarn overs, kind of knit two together, slip slip knits. So it's a really straightforward pattern. There's nothing particularly advanced in the pattern itself. I'm doing it in the Cascade Yarns Forest Hills, which is that there, which is a 51% silk, 49% merino. So it is the softest thing I think I've ever worked with. It's a great yarn. It's a beautiful pattern. It's a beaded pattern as well, so I've started working some beads in there as well. The problem with this pattern is that 1 row out of every 4, you have to count like buggery. And so you've got a nice relaxed row, a nice relaxed row, a nice relaxed row, and then you've got hell on the needles as you madly try and count and make sure that you get the correct number of yarn overs, because otherwise you're going to wind up with 3 and a bit repeats in a section rather than 3. So this has actually got 12 repeats of the pattern all the way around. I've split it up into quarters just with yarn marker, with stitch markers, so that's really handy because it means that I can, you know, if I have problems, I don't need to go back too far. I'm also using the Knit Pro needles, so it's really easy to run lifelines, so if I need to I can run a lifeline. Just as a word to the wise, if you're using solid stitch markers, they can be a pain with running lifelines. So I'm thinking of switching to these. So they're the little kind of safety pin style stitch markers, because otherwise your lifeline, as you run it along the needles, will run through your stitch marker. So as you get several rows up, your lifeline is going through the row, and then it kind of elbows up, goes through your stitch marker, which is still on your needle, and then back down. And so lifelines and stitch markers, or the solid stitch markers, can be a pain. So yeah, switching to those. I'm also going to switch to a wider, a longer cable needle. But I have been looking at this project for months. Every time I pick it up, I remember why I pick it up, and every time I pick it up, I remember why I put it down. But I'm determined. I'm 83 rows in, so I've got a pattern row coming up next, which I'm not looking forward to, which is probably why I haven't picked it up in a while. There's only 126 rows, I think, in the pattern, but obviously the rows get wider as you go. So I think I worked it out. I'm about 45% or 42% of the way through the pattern, just in terms of the number of stitches. But in terms of the number of like pattern rows, I'm 2/3 of the way there. So this is going to be my next big project. I will probably go rummaging through the pile as well to try and find something mindless, because sometimes I need something I can knit without having to think about it. So I'll probably take a look through for that. But I do intend to actually finish the beautiful blue scarf, probably with a different pattern, so that I can avoid some of the things that I hated about that scarf I just ripped out. But not yet. I gotta finish some things first, so no new projects. So I'm gonna bag these up, pop them in my box of rescued yarn, which there is rapidly growing some, and yeah, we'll see how you go. So I'm gonna get stuck into some lace knitting, and wish me luck, because I think I'm gonna need it. See you next time.